In this video, we're going to be installing the Govee permanent outdoor lights for our house. In years past, I've had different lighting systems on the house, cheap stuff, and it just doesn't really hold up. So I wanted to go with something a little bit nicer, higher end, something I can put up, leave up, never have to worry about every year, flip a switch, make it do whatever it needs to do, and then just leave it up all year long. We got the 150-foot kit for the house, and we're gonna do the bottom floor as well as the top floor of the house, just across the front. So it shouldn't be too bad of an install, but we're gonna see how that goes. I also bought 2 sets of the curtain lights for the garage door. The LEDs themselves, the install, everything looks to be really good. So very anxious to get to working on these, getting these put on the house and see just what the results are in person. As for the actual pods, they're just really small little LED pods with a 2-sided tape on the back. You just peel it off and you stick these along the way. And these are addressable LEDs. I did try to hook them up to like an SP controller or something like that, but I didn't really get any results from that. So I don't believe that these are a standard addressable. I think they're using something special. The setup seemed to be pretty beefy. The wiring looks to be about 18 gauge, maybe 20. And they have these quick connects with caps so that you don't have to worry about any water or moisture, anything affecting the setup. They're all controlled with one app, so I will be able to link it all up and use the app to program everything, and possibly even do some light shows, and we'll see how that goes. So I got a rag here with some alcohol, and I've been using that to wipe down where we're going to be sticking it to on the ceiling. It recommends placing them on the ceiling between 5 and 10 centimeters from the wall. So I got my ruler here. I got my first part of the strand. The input is the one with the washer. So input there, the washer is that rubber ring there. So I'm gonna shoot right at the 7 centimeter mark. And you're supposed to hold it in place for about 5 seconds, making sure that it gets a good bond to the top material. They also include these little brackets that will hold the wire up a little bit more securely and can be actually screwed in. It does seem like it's holding up pretty well under its own weight with the adhesive, but I'm gonna go ahead and add these where I can, especially on the lower levels. First one's in. I'll get one on the other side of the strip. So one thing I am seeing on the far end over there is that the number of pods, as I have them spaced, it's gonna be a few too many pods and it would hang out the side. So there's a couple different directions I can go with it. I could wrap it to go towards the front of the porch. I could take it around the side. I could take it up the side of the house, but I think all those are gonna look a little bit tacky. So I'm gonna go a little bit custom here, and I'm gonna cut it. I'm going to splice in the output and then run that up to the top. So that'll take a little bit more time to do, but I think it'll have a cleaner result in the end. So I figured out about how many I need to cut. So I'm gonna cut about 3 down right here. And on the far end, I'm gonna cut off this pigtail. That way, I'll eliminate these and it'll just come out like that. One thing that I did pick up a little while ago was a portable soldering iron. And it's USB powered, but I can use this jump pack that I use for jump starting cars and stuff like that to power it. So it makes it very portable. It's also very small. This thing's about the size of a pin, fit right in your pocket. And it does work. It's quite effective. So I just push this button, it'll turn right on. It heats up. We're already up to about 300 C. So there we go. I got them soldered on, and the shrink tube is ready to go over top. So, obviously in this case, you could use electrical tape or something like that. I always prefer shrink tubing. You can notice the which wire goes to what. That is pretty important. You don't want to get these wires backwards. So they are marked for the I'm assuming data line in the middle, and then either a power or ground on the outside, and then the other wire on the far side. Checking on the bench, I couldn't quite figure out which wire did which. They didn't work like a normal addressable. So either way, you still want to make sure you get it all plugged in the right way. The game plan is to take this and tuck it up into the vinyl siding trim piece there at the top, and that should keep it nice and flush, nice and clean. And then we'll run down right by the outlet, which happens to be up by a window, so we can just run that wire right down the side. All right, so I got that first strip here on the porch wired up, testing out. It's going down to the end, so we're good there. The next step will be to run another extension up the side of the house to the second floor, and then we'll start getting stuff done up there. All right, so we got the first strand. I'm gonna go ahead and run that first. I'll run the extension down the side after I get the first strand secured in place. Now, the plan is to go the full way out and then attempt to go up. I don't like heights, but I really want to get these lights up, so I'm gonna overcome my fears today. We're gonna do this. Now we're gonna go ahead and secure that in place. I'm gonna go ahead and connect the extension and run it down the side here now. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and connect another strand to this one, run it down along the side, and we'll see how that goes. Oh, cramp. From this angle, they actually look pretty straight, and I can't see a thing I'm doing. So. I do not like heights. These are supposed to be permanent, so I do it one time, hopefully never again. So now we're going to be moving on to the curtain lights for the garage door. This is what they look like outside of the box. There's a bunch of little controller boxes that have strands that run down, and the controller tells each strand what to do. Basically turning your garage door into a TV of sorts. So I did watch a couple videos of other people that installed it before I did this, just to get some ideas and some inspiration. There was one thing I did see, I think it was Chris Mayer's video, where he used these rails where he secured them to the garage door and placed them inside. And that's something that I could do. I could leave up all year long. I'm not too worried about it because it is white. It will blend in pretty well. And then every year I can just pull them off and put them back on. And in his case, the garage door still works. So we usually go in and out of the garage door, and it does need to open and close. So that is a pretty big factor. I got the same aluminum rails that he was using, and I got some two-sided tape so I don't have to drill them in. So I'm gonna be trying this double-sided stuff by CZ Off Pro. I'll have a link in the description for that, but I think it'll work pretty good. So I'm gonna get some alcohol, we'll clean off the door, make sure there's no dust on there, and then I'm gonna start hanging up the first rail. So I got it up, as you can see, pretty straight. I actually just lined it with the top of these little panels, and that way I knew that I'd get it straight the whole way down. So now we're ready to go ahead and hang the lights. So inside, I just ran the wires up through the top of the garage, and then just secured them in tape with some, in place with some packing tape. There are my 3 inputs there. I've got all 3 controllers mounted here, and then they run down into a power supply that I just have hanging from here. I did want it to be easy enough to break down. I need the garage door to still open, and the way this works, when the garage opens up, it still just goes right back. So the garage door opens, and it just basically hangs down, and that actually works really well. I did open the garage door part way. That way I made sure there was no slack or anything in there, and then taped down the bottom section of the strip so that wind doesn't blow it around. And then for the end result, so this is about 1,500 LEDs as it is with these 3 panels. And within the app, you can actually chain them together to create like a panel, kind of like I did there. Cycle through different show modes, different preset animations.